LSI system design theory course. So we are now we are studying the performance of the CMOS inverter and other digital circuits. So first example is inverter circuit. Then if we understand, then other we can analyze. So to analyze various performance parameters, one parameter is delay. So to understand delay of the CMOS inverter, first we understand what are the capacitances which are connected to this output port. So that we have already discussed in last time. So just briefly we can see that there are these CGDP, CDVP and CGDN, CDVN and this interconnect capacitance and gate capacitance of next stage which is connected. So all these capacitances are taken into account, and then we can take a single capacitor as a load. Let me take a pointer. So including all these which are red color highlighted capacitors, and also including the this one, suppose all calculation methods already we know. Also including this Miller effect, because CGD1, suppose it is now becoming 2 CGD1 between output port and between the ground, it is becoming 2 times CGD1. Whatever CGD1 is between gate and drain, it is here in input. After it is means its effect in the output is basically 2 times CGD1, according to this explanation, that because when input rises by delta V times, output also falls by delta V times. So 2 delta V changes are occurring. So whatever charge is now just should be calculated by taking whole effect of whole change of voltage we should include together. So it will be delta Q to CGD1 delta V and minus CGD1 into delta V minus, so double. So 2 delta V is there, therefore CGD1 will be twice, it will appear as a 2 times CGD1, and therefore whatever the overlap capacitances that are doubled, we have seen that CGDP and CGDN are COXW into L overlap. L overlap at drain side and source side, but due to Miller effect, it is both sides, drain and both sides, source sides are doubled, and especially here at drain side, not source side, mainly at output port it is connected. Drain side capacitance is coming into picture. At output port, which is the output port here, the drain side capacitance is coming into picture. This source side is not coming into picture. So even only drain side capacitance, overlap capacitance is there, but due to Miller effect, it is becoming just double. So in effect, it is basically we can say that if real transistor has a drain and source both overlap capacitance, then added together, it is just exactly same, which is effectively COX W into LD is the actual value, but at the output node between the output port and ground, if Miller effect is included, then it becomes 2 COX WL LD. LD is the overlap distance at the of drain and gate. So in all these, we can see that also gate capacitance of this transistor, this one, sorry, this stage. Gate capacitance of this stage is also taken, and we know that the gate capacitance varies between the, because if it is in saturation, then 2/3 of W COX, 2/3 COX into W into L, and if it is in either in cutoff region or in the linear region, then what is the maximum range that we are talking, and maximum worst case capacitance we will consider. So here we can see W into L effective into COX, and then this is overlap capacitance including Miller effect. Gate capacitance, so overall gate capacitance by including all, it becomes WL COX. So this is the gate capacitance. So in the actual equation we can see that in the circuit, if we consider a load capacitor is there, C load, this includes 2 times CGDN, 2 times CGDP and CDVN, CDVP and C interconnect and plus C gate, all together taken, and CSB and C CSBN and CSBP is not not connected to the output port, therefore taking 0, and CGSN and CGSP also not connected. So therefore means rise time, fall time. Now I can calculate if I have all the idea in the circuit here. Whatever load, this C load we are considering, this C load will include all the capacitances, interconnect capacitance, next stage gate capacitance, internal from the drain and from the drain, means from the P MOS and N MOS, whatever internal capacitance, everything is included in this C load. So this circuit will be analyzed later on, and let us now understand, means because we want to calculate the propagation delay, rise time, fall time. So we should again recall that what is the definition of propagation delay, rise time, fall time. So in this diagram we are trying to explain that capacitances we have all the idea, and these capacitances are just in the circuit it is shown as a load capacitance, and then we are studying the delay. So for calculation of delay, suppose this is the input pulse, it is non-ideal input pulse. This is not switching very fast, it is taking some rise time, fall time, or some delay is there. Means even initially some delay is there, then after that it is switching from low to high, but it is taking some time. Rise time, fall time is not so small, it is some significant value. So we can see this is the maximum value, which is in the case of CMOS inverter VDD, and it is also equivalent to VOH. And this is the minimum value, this is also equivalent to 0, or means also equivalent to VOL. And at the output, this is the output, blue color, green color was non-ideal input, and blue color plot is output of the inverter, CMOS inverter. So we can see output is when input is low, output is high. Also output is not immediately coming to low state, it is switching from high to low, and it is coming to low here fully. It is just equal to VOL now, but from VOS to VOL it is coming, it is taking some time, that we can see, and after that it is again rising. When the input is falling, then it is rising. So there is some delay when output is falling from high to low, also some delay from low to high. When it is changing state from low to high, then also there is some delay. So both delays should be calculated and added, and then taken the average. We can see 50% point of this input pulse, when input pulse is coming from low to high, at when switching from low to high, and it is reaching up to 50% of the amplitude, and output pulse is coming from high to low, and it is reaching at 50% amplitude. So this time is T0, and this time is T1. The difference of T1 minus T0, it is called TPHL, means because output is switching from high to low. So this difference, time difference, is TPHL. So it is delay at the falling edge, and similarly delay at the rising edge also TPLH we can calculate. Here again 50% point, 50% amplitude means 50% of the VOH, whatever VOH, it's 50% point you are coming. So when output is rising from low to high, then you are going up to 50% point, and at the same time means this time is T3, and when input is going from high to low, at this case, in this case, so at 50% point, what is the time? That is T2. So T3 minus T2, this is TPLS. So by taking means adding TPLH plus TPHL and divided by 2, it will give you propagation delay. Here TP, propagation delay of this is one stage of inverter, TPHL plus TPLH by 2. And similarly rise time, fall time also we have to calculate. So again reviewing the what is rise time, fall time, we can see here this is the output pulse, VOH maximum, and VOL is the minimum value of the pulse, is amplitude. And we can see this is 90% point, 90% point, and this one is 10% point, and this one, this line is VOL, and this is VOH. So there are two types of rise time and two types of calculation, rise and fall times. We should calculate. So when output pulse is falling from high to low or switching from high to low, when it is at 90% of the amplitude, maximum amplitude is VOH, so it's 90% point, and at that time is TA, and when it is coming to 10% point, then time is TB. So difference between these two times, it is called fall time. Fall time, tau fall is TB minus TA. Similarly, the rise time we can define when 10% it is rising, and output pulse is rising from VOL to V, it is going towards VOH. So in this time there is a 10% point and 90% point. So the time difference between 90% and 10% point means TD minus TC. It is rise time. So because it is rising from low to high, it is called rise time. It is here falling from high to low, therefore it is fall time. So according to definition, means VOL is the minimum, generally in this case 0, and then like here 50% point you have to calculate, then 0.5 of the this one, and means from 0.5 of this difference between VOH and VOL. So basically VOL is 0, so 0.5 of VOH we can say, and here also in the similar way VOL is 0, then 0.1 of the VOH. It is 10% point, 90% point VOL plus 0.9 of VOH. VOL will be almost 0. If it is not 0 for other inverters, then we can put some values, whatever value. So this is the basic review of these delay, delay, propagation delay, and rise time, fall time. These must be calculated in terms of CMOS inverter parameters. So we can see this TPHL, like here this is inverter, this is PMOS, this is NMOS, body is grounded, source is grounded, IDP, current at the drain of PMOS is IDP, current here IDM, and current which is going in this load. Here we are considering this load, C load, and it is having current IC. So IC will be IDP minus IDN, and here we can see initially we can assume V in ideal. So it is rise time and fall time will be almost negligible. Here we are showing it is not non-ideal. So rise time, fall time in input pulse also significant. But initially we can in calculation we can analyze with the ideal pulse, means step pulse. If it is step pulse, it is rising very fast, no delay. No any rise time, fall time delay. It means no any time in rising or falling. It is not taking any significant time. From 0 to 1, it is switching very fast, and also from 1 to 0, it is also switching very fast. This type of input pulse we are considering. It is in simulation we are also taking similar type of pulse. We are 10 nanosecond we are giving the rise time, 10 nanosecond fall time, while we are simulating in microsecond. So in comparison to microsecond, nanosecond is very small time, and nanosecond is very small time. Therefore, we can consider it as a step pulse or ideal pulse. So if it is ideal pulse, then we can analyze, and then we can calculate the delay, or especially rise time, fall time. So there are three ways we can calculate, like average current model, in which TPHL means when output is switching from high to low, and it is coming from VOH to VDD by 2. During that, what is the delay that we are calculating? So TPHL, it is basically C load into delta V HL by I average. We take I average, current which is flowing, that its average we are taking, and VOH minus V 50% divided by I average. This way we can calculate, or we can also calculate differential model. We can use differential model where this I is what? I is dq by dt, and q is dq is what? C load into delta V, dV by dt, dV out by dt, because output of this capacitor, means voltage of this capacitor depends on output voltage. Whatever output voltage you are having, that is between the plates of the potential difference between the plates of the capacitor is basically whatever V out we are getting, that is there. So if it is changing, V out is changing, then whatever is by small amount of change of dV out, what is the rate of change of this dV out, that will decide the dQ. So IC, this capacitor current IC equal to C load into dV out by dt, and dt is delay, means dt is basically time relation between the change of voltage and with load capacitor. So integral dt can be written as C load into integral dV out by IC. This relation differential form, and we can integrate and find out. And in this way, if it is means we are considering the transition from high to low, then we can find out TPHL, and low to high, then we can find out TPLH. So this integral can be used, this method can be used for finding out TPLH or TPHL. Also very simple approximation RC model, RC delay model, that TPHL is equal to 0.69 R load into Rn, where it is on resistance of the transistor. So it is also possible to take, this is simple model, RC model means no any integral, nothing. So let us see this model, like find out time, integrate from T1 to T2. If any time delay you have to calculate, then whatever initial voltage to final voltage you can integrate, and C load which is function of V out, I current I of the capacitor is also function of V out into dV out. So this model we can use for basically this is differential model which we can use for calculation of the delay, especially TPHL and TPLH. So using this simple model, load capacitance we can consider, and in load capacitance we are considering all kind of internal capacitances, also interconnect capacitance, and next stage whatever gate capacitance of the transistors of the next stage. So if we assume this model can have that variety of possibility, but one possibility means two type possibilities are there, that we can assume input is ideal pulse. Ideal pulse means step pulse. It is switching very fast. Also it may be not switching very fast, it may have some rise time, fall time, then we will discuss later on. But initially we are considering that input is very switching very fast, and it is ideal pulse, ideal step pulse, and its propagation delay then we can calculate for the circuit. So here we can see, if we are considering input is this one at t equal to 0, here we are, and input is switching from low to high, it becomes now high and maintaining high, and at the same time output is switching at this time, output is switching from high to low, it is going from high to low. So in the meantime, initially output is VDS is equal to V out, for the NMOS transistor. So this is V out is equal to VOH initially. After some time it will reach to VDD, VDS will become. So after some time it will become VOH minus VTH, VTH of NMOS also it is possible. So we will see. So here as here in this graph we can see it is the input and output pulse timing diagram, but here the capacitor discharging diagram. Capacitor is discharging. Initially we are considering the situation when capacitor is discharging. Capacitor will discharge. What will happen when output is coming from high to low? In that case capacitor is discharging, and this type of situation we can see. The initial value of the voltage across the capacitor, across the plates of the capacitor is VDD. After some time it is coming to VDD minus VT of the NMOS, and then after that it is also reaching to VDD by 2. So when it is reaching from this to this place, whatever we are getting some time differences, that we have to calculate. So we can calculate those time differences. Initially the situation here we can see that what is the situation of transistor, because in this situation, initially the transistor is in saturation region, but after when the output voltage comes basically VDD minus VT, below that you are going below this point, this NMOS transistor will become linear region. So from here to here, NMOS transistor is in saturation region. After this point and up to this point, NMOS transistor is in linear region. So in linear region, we have to calculate separately, and delay we have to calculate separately. So from here to here, we can calculate delay by taking current equation IDSN equal to Kn by 2 V in minus Vt whole square and 1 plus lambda V out. It can be taken, but here we are neglecting. We are making it simple. So lambda I can take 0, no channel length modulation. And in that case, if lambda is neglected, then the delay up to here from 0 to here TP1, it can be calculated at TP1 equal to, because initially voltage is switching from VDD to final voltage is VDD minus VT. So VDD integral from VDD to VDD minus VT, then C load, then ID saturation into dV, and dV is what is the change of voltage, that we also we know. So all these substitutions can be done, and in this way C VDD is the VDD is the this value, and VDD minus VT second value. So this is possible that TP1 we can calculate, and similarly we can also calculate this second delay TP2. Delay from means 0 to this one TP1, and from TP1 to TPHL it is TP2 suppose. So this point is TPHL suppose. So up to from TP1 to this point, whatever time delay, that is TP2, and here initial voltage was VDD minus VT, and then final voltage is VDD by 2. So using the same this model which we have discussed here initially, that time can be calculated from integral from T1 to T2 dt, and the voltage varying from V1 to V2, C load V out, C load function of V out divided by I function of V out into dV out. This equation we are using, and here by using when it is switching from VDD to VDD minus VT, this TP1 we have calculated. Similarly, we can calculate TP2. TP2 can be calculated. Here we can we know that this NMOS transistor is in linear region. So drain current equation for the NMOS is Kn V in minus Vt V out minus V out by 2 whole square. This equation can be used, and obviously if we are using this equation, then we can approximate the means again recalling this one dP out, we can find out by means interchanging the variables, means rearranging the variables. So dV out equal to minus IDSN saturation by C load into dt, and even dt can be calculated, means dt is integral. This TP2 is basically integral from T1 to TPHL dt. So integral from this point to this point, this is TP2. It is in terms of C load divided by K and VDD minus VT, integration from VDD minus VT to VDD by 2, and by putting this dV out by here ID equation is kept here. So in this way, some terms are taken outside as a common, and other terms, remaining terms which is containing V out is taken inside the integral. Still integral is not done. So TP2 can be calculated by this way. This is another method, and by adding both we can find out TPHL. So by adding both we can find out TPHL. So TP2 is calculated by this way, and then finally means I'm not doing all the algebra, but if you calculate everything, you arrange and use this using this equality equation, TP2 will be C load divided by Kn ln of 3 VDD minus 4 VT by VD. This is the result which is coming. So by putting together TP1 and TP2, we can find out what is the delay at the means point when output is switching from high to low. And so delay time when output is switching from high to low, TPHL, it is TP1 plus TP2, which is exactly 2 C load by Kn VDD minus VT, and then inside VT by VDD minus VT plus half ln 3 VDD minus 4 VT by VDD. So this is the equation which is coming, And generally VT is so generally for CMOS it can be approximated around 0.2 VDD, and also in that case if you are approximating, then the approximate calculation can be done. For hand calculation we can approximate this equation by putting VT equal to 0.2 VDD. Then there is a very handy calculation equation, TPHL equal to 1.6 C load by Kn VDD. This can be used. So in this way TPHL we have already calculated. TPHL equation is this one. Same thing we are writing here again. Means the TPHL is written in together. Everything is written together. That T0 to T1. It is like in this diagram. The same thing we are trying to explain, that VDD is basically VOH. In terms of VOH also we can write. So this output is basically initially high, then it is switching from high to low. During this switching period, it is coming at some point, it is coming at VDD minus VTN 0, and at some point it is coming at 50% point, means VDD by 2 also it is coming. So if we consider all these means from high to low, high to 50% point, this much point. So what is the situation? That is T 50% minus T naught. This time we are calculating, and it is defined as TPHL. And TPHL during calculation of TPHL we are coming, and another in between the another time T1 dash is coming. So this T1 dash we are calculating, then T 50% and T naught, everything we are basically going through. So there are two switching states from VOH or VDD. It is switching to VDD minus VT, and then from VDD minus VT it is switching to the VDD by 2. So this is why two integrals we are taking: C load VDD to VDD minus VTN 0 VT 0n, then 1 upon ID dV out, then C load VDD minus VTN to VDD by 2, then upon IDN with dV out. And by means putting all together, then finally it is the same thing it is written. And this highlighted term in blue ellipse, basically it is basically related to the on resistance of the transistor Rn. So this is proportional to Rn, on resistance of the transistor basically. So this C load and whatever other terms we are getting, basically it is contributing to the on resistance of this transistor, basically generally delays RC time product, R and C product. So C load you are including all kind of capacitances, either internal or interconnect capacitances or next stage gate capacitance, and whatever other additional term you are getting, this is basically directly proportional to on resistance of the transistor. So in this way, basically it's that means dimension, if you check, its dimension should be dimension of resistance. So this is giving RC delay product for the falling when it is output is coming from high to low, and similarly when output is going from low to high, it should also be calculated. So all these calculations must be done. Same part is high TPHL we have calculated, then exactly here we are going to do the same thing like here. Inverter delay in filing is again just quickly we are going very quickly to understand this. We can see when it is falling, then in that case this transistor is initially in saturation region NMOS, but PMOS is in off, because input from this diagram we can again clarify. Input is switching from, at this point input is switching from low to high. When input is becoming high, then this PMOS will become off, or this PMOS transistor is working as a switch. So we can say it is as an open switch, it is not, no current is flowing, but NMOS is in saturation. So initially NMOS in saturation, and it is capacitor charge is discharging. So those calculations are in that circuit can be approximated in this way, that input is switching from low to high, it became high now. So whatever Vin can be substituted as VDD or VOH also, VOL also, not well, VOH. So if this PMOS is open, So its role is not coming, only n mass is there, and this load is there. We are considering only load, and this n mass we are considering this current is shown. Whatever the load current is here, it is basically C load is directly connected to this n mass, and between ground and C load. So this is why it is discharging, because this capacitor is directly connected to this n mass transistor and ground. So it is while it is discharging, then at the time beginning at the beginning we can consider that it is in the saturation region, but when this voltage of the capacitor becomes VDD minus VT, below VDD minus VT, then it comes to the linear region. So initially we have to do the analysis, or initially we have to calculate the current with the help of saturation region current equation. After that, when it is coming from VDD minus VT to VDD by 2, then we have to use the analysis of the linear region. So this is why it is broken in two parts, and this relation I equal to C dV by dt, this relation is used, and ID is equal to C load dV out by dt, and ID should be determined in two parts. Therefore we have done in this way. It is broken in two parts. Initially we are telling that T0 to T1 it is in saturation, and T1 to T2 it is in linear region. So if it is the case that when VDD to VDD minus VTN we are coming, then it is in saturation, and VDD minus VTN to VDD it is in linear region. So this is why we are calculating in two parts. First part we are considering that this saturation region current equation we can use, IDS equal to K and Vin minus Vtn, and Vin also we can substitute as VOH or VDD, because input is switching to high. Here again it is now high, input is from low to high, then only discharging starts. So discharging, while it is discharging, we can assume that input is VOH. So therefore Vin is substituted by VOH, and VT0n is threshold voltage of n mass. So this current equation we can use, and with the help of this current equation we are integrating from T0 to T1, and then putting all together to CL Kn VOH Vtn minus VOH minus Vt0n whole square, it is taken outside, integrating from VOH to VOH minus Vt0n and dV out. So obviously it's a difference between these two, voltage difference between these two directly we can write. So in this way T1 minus T0 is calculated. Similarly, delay between T2 and T1. So this second part we are calculating T2 and T1. In this region, NMOS transistor is considered to be in linear region. So linear region equation we can consider for second part. So this is why IDS is equal to Kn VOH minus VT0n V out minus half V out whole square. And then if you are integrating using the same integral equation, and dt integrating from T1 to T2, so T2 minus T1, this is the delay, and this is minus CL, and here limit of the voltage is VOH minus VT0n up to VOH minus VOL by 2 we can say, or we can say VDD by 2. It is basically VOL is here 0, or VOH by 2 we can say. So, but it is already in generalized form, it is written VOH plus VOL by 2, and dV out by Kn VOH minus VT0n V out minus half V out whole square. And finally integral, if it is done and everything done, then finally this new term we are getting CL by Kn VOH minus VT0n ln of 2 VOH minus VT0n minus VOH plus VOL by 2, then VOH plus VOL by 2. This is the term. And similarly also we can calculate delay for the falling edge also. When delay for falling edge is added, means both the times are T0 T1 minus T0 and T2 minus T1, it is added together. This is the final equation, which is as same as previous case. So CL Kn VOH minus VT0n 2 VT0n by VOH minus VT0n ln 4 VOH minus VT0n divided by VOH plus VOL minus 1. So this is complete delay at the falling edge, means TPHL. Also we can have some delay, not going in all the algebra, but this is a final TPLH. When the output pulse is rising from low to high, Then also similar analysis can be performed and we can find out TPLH. So TPLH is coming to be, in that case means P mass transistor is playing role. Here N mass transistor was initially in saturation region, then it was in linear region. So when it is rising, then just opposite case will be happening. So P mass will be in main role. So CL divided by KP VOH minus VOL minus mod of VT0P, then 2 VT0P by VOH minus VOL minus mod of VT0P, then ln 4 VOH minus VOL minus mod of VT0P divided by VOH plus VOL minus 1. So this equation is coming for the delay when you are calculating delay when output pulse is switching from low to high. And if we consider all these calculations and all these theories, and to balance rise and fall time delays, means we are assuming that VOH equal to VDD and VOL means ideal case we are considering, means best case is that VOH should be exactly equal to VDD, VOL should be 0, and VTN VT0N should be VT0P. If all these are parameters which we are approximating, that VOH equal to VDD, VOL equal to 0 and VT0N equal to VT0P, then from this analysis it is means and also Kp by Kn equal to 1, then we are getting that W by L of P divided by W by L of N. It should be it is just ratio of mu n by mu p, and it is approximately coming as 2.5. So this is why generally in the design in hand calculation, for getting this type of situation, that you want to design an inverter in which VOH is equal to VDD, VOL is equal to 0, and threshold voltage of N mass and P mass are equal, but opposite means N mass is having positive, P mass is having negative threshold voltage. So in the situation Kp by Kn becomes 1, and W by L for P mass divided by W by L for N mass, this becomes ratio of mu n by mu p, which is equal to 2.5. So this is why generally we keep 2 times the width of the P mass transistor, width of P mass transistor 2 times the width of N mass transistor, so that it is approximately 2, not means it is coming 2.5, but during design generally we consider 2 times. So 2 times width we consider, or maybe more accurately we can consider 2.5 times. So if we consider 2.5 times the width of the P mass transistor, means 2.5 times width of the N mass transistor, width of P mass transistor should be taken generally 2.5 times or 2 times width of the N mass transistor, then the circuit will perform in this ideal condition, that VOH is equal to VDD, VOL equal to 0, and VTN 0 equal to VTN 0, VP0, it should be means it is process parameter. If transistor has P mass and N mass has both magnitude of threshold voltage is same, but only the sign is different. VT0P is having negative threshold voltage but same value, same magnitude, and VT0N is positive threshold voltage but same magnitude. So in that situation, this will perform as a ideal, and VOH will be exactly VDD and VOL will be 0. It will be output will be switching from 0 to VDD, which is expected and which is very means the best performance. After that, if this design is disturbed, if anything changed, then maybe you are not getting perfect output. So now time is over. Next time we will discuss rise time and fall time also. Also other methodologies that approximate methods for calculation of delay, that we will discuss. So inverter delay and then rise time, fall time, after we will complete. After that we will also go for the analysis of power dissipation. So all these are performance parameters of these CMOS circuits, and power dissipation we will discuss. Then also some means other problems related to these calculations of fall time, rise time, and delay at falling edge, delay at rising edge, and total propagation delay, all related some problems also we will discuss. So in coming terms we will complete these things. So let us come out of the presentation. 1 minute. Okay. So now stop recording. Do you have any question?